Welcome back to the Message Reviews podcast. This is episode number 2. I am your host, Message. Thank you for being here. Everyone that watched the previous podcast, thank you so much for taking a look at it. We had a good time shooting the podcast. My buddies Cowboy and Moulty. We had Corona time. We had Big Head, Chico. It was a good time. I very much enjoyed it, and we're going to try to make it a weekly thing. Everyone's not going to be on every podcast, obviously, because, people have lives, and you just can't make every one of them. But, we'll do the best we can to have as many people as we can on. I got some other podcasts planned for the future. We'll even do some, obviously, by myself. Those will be interesting because I've never done anything to that extent, but I will give it a shot. The topics for today, we've got... a review on Cold War. Is it really that bad? We'll do a rankings and a review. We'll go over the whole game. We played a lot of Cold War this week, obviously, because we play mostly Modern Warfare and Warzone, but we decided to take a look at it just because it's been, 6 months since the game released, 6-7 months since the game released. You would hope that they fix all the bugs. So we played that, and then this is Friday, but this obviously this won't get released till Monday. But Without Remorse came out this morning on Amazon Prime Video, and we took a watch, and we're going to do the rankings of that as well. So stick around, and we will do that this week. Our reviews, our TikTok reviews, we're mostly focusing on Ray's Energy. I got a couple of them in the back that I did reviews on. I got a few more I got to finish out this week before we have the official rankings. But not bad. First time I've ever tried Ray's before. Obviously, our friend Chico Chavez 12, he is sponsored by them, so I figured I'd give it a shot, see what they taste like, and we'll go from there. This will be our second energy drink series that we've done, and the first one did pretty well. We did Ghost Energy, and then we're doing Ray's right now. If there's a particular energy drink that you want us to give a shot at, I know that Rockstar apparently had a bunch come out. I like the Monster Zeros. And then I've had some of the Bang Energies, but I haven't tried all of them. So if you want me to rank and review them, let me know in the comments, and we could definitely do that. Again, today's topics are Cold War. It's going to be our full Cold War review. We spent a lot of time. I spent a lot more time playing it than I ever have played it. And then, of course, Without Remorse. And we're going to go ahead and get the podcast started, but I can already tell one of our guests is not sitting in his effing chair. He is literally not in the room. We're going to go ahead and switch over to it, and then he will have to just join us when he joins us. So here we go. Here we go. Switching screens. Cowboy, I see you. Obviously, Moulty has not made it. He hasn't made it. He was literally there.
He was there like 2 minutes ago.
2 minutes ago.
There he is.
Yeah, you heard every single word I just said, Moulty. Get your ass in here so we can start the podcast. All right, unmute yourself. Let's get going. All right, boys. Again, topic number 1, Cold War. Is it really that bad? Our full rankings and review. Like I said, we spent quite a bit of time this week playing it. I spent hours playing it this week. Me and Cowboy started off playing zombies. We played some zombies, and then we played a decent amount of CDL this week. Cowboy, if you want to start us off with this, I'll let you start us off with this, and then we'll move on to Moulty and we'll go forward. So let's just talk about gameplay this week, how you liked it, what you liked, what you didn't like. Then we'll go into other things like certain game modes we do like, and then maybe like weapons and things of that matter. But Cowboy, go ahead and take over.
Honestly, probably the only thing I really still, after playing it for the week, don't really like Cold War. I guess I maybe have just gotten too used to the Modern Warfare mechanics. Movements, not all there in my opinion, still. I still feel, at least I'm on Xbox, I still feel like there's some of the game chat that glitches out for me at least. I don't know how it is on you with being on PC. I use Cold War a lot, at least zombies to rank up guns for Warzone. Honestly, I've kind of always been a zombies player. That's kind of the main reason I bought the game was zombies. Zombies, excellent job. Thing I'd like a little bit better, they brought back the OG map Transit, Black Ops 2. But honestly, multiplayer, like you said, we played a lot of CDL. Multiplayer, I wasn't really getting into it. The CDL, I'll admit, I was kind of getting into it a little bit, but I don't think I'd be able to go over to it full time. That's just, that's just my idea, my thought.
All right, and Moulty, thoughts on the gameplay that you did this week with Cold War?
Honestly, I did, from when it first came out, I did see a good improvement on it with all the movement still, like Cowboy said, just doesn't feel right. It still feels like you're running on ice and you can do whatever you want, basically. It's fucking, I don't know. It's weird. It's not the same with Modern Warfare, and it's not, it's kind of old back to Modern Warfare 2 things, stuff like that. I see y'all laughing. I caught myself. Kind of.
Yeah.
It's just weird. It's not the same. It's like an older style game for new genre. I don't know. I still enjoyed it more, but it still wasn't like Modern Warfare. That's my only gripe. It's not. It doesn't come up to par at all.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it definitely. Well, let's be real with it, right? Modern Warfare was a home run. It was a home run. We have played the game now for almost 2 years, going on almost 2 years now, and I love the game. Love everything about it. We play it nearly every night. You know what I mean? Like, we've been playing it for a long time. So either way, you had some big shoes to fill when you made a new game, regardless. Like, you know, even if, like, let's say the pandemic didn't happen, maybe they would have been able to do a better job with it. But I mean, the opening of Cold War was, oof. Do y'all remember how crappy it was? Like,
oh my,
the audio glitches. You couldn't talk to anybody unless you were in Discord. And it's you know, I have PC, cool. At the time, I didn't have PC. We're all on consoles trying to play with Jack. Oh, well,
couldn't hear anybody.
I hit the wrong button. You'll see the mistake I made on the podcast later, because I'm trying this new thing where we're trying to record it all at once. So I've got all my scene screens over here. I definitely hit a wrong scene screen a second ago, so it's okay. But anyway, so like the beginning when it came out, when did it come out? Like October, November, December last year?
November. I think.
So November of 2020 it comes out with maybe 4 maps, right? So it was like a half prepared game. The comms don't work. A big disappointment. Definitely a big disappointment 6 months ago. Now, if it would have come out now with more maps, the comms being way better, CDL being released on time, because it came out 2-3 months late, I think. I think you have a way better game. You make more sales up front. So I read a stat the other day. Listen to this. So Modern Warfare made $658 million in 3 days off of game sales. 3 days, $658 million in game sales. Guess how long it took Cold War to hit those numbers?
Almost a damn year.
No. It happened a lot sooner than that. But just think about how. Take a guess.
I'm just being a little dramatic.
6 weeks.
I was going to say 2 months.
Yeah, it took 6 weeks for it to hit the same exact sales.
Because everybody was already so conflicted about it. Everybody didn't know what to expect, this and that. And then it came out, and everyone's like, saying it. The only reason people bought it was for Warzone.
To level up the gun.
That's the entire reason.
That's
why I bought it originally. And that's still to this day why I have it.
I think the alpha and betas hurt it a lot. Did y'all play the alphas or the betas?
I
Yeah,
didn't.
I played the beta, I think.
Yeah, I played both, and I think so. When I played, I think I played both, but the um, the snipers felt amazing on the beta and the alpha. The quick scope was stupid. Like on satellite,
Yeah,
everyone's just chilling in the back because quick scoping is so perfect, and you're just sniping the crap out of everybody with the Tundra, and everyone was having a good old time. And then they nerfed it to the ground. The ADS on those snipers are awful, and it looks funny
it's
too. It
weird.
looks like they're pulling
It
the
looks
gun
so
out in
weird.
front of them before it comes up. So instead of going from down to up, it looks like it's going like this. Yeah, it's the most dumbest
It's
thing I've ever
not.
seen.
It doesn't look. Nothing looks natural in the game. I think that's what bothers me the most. It doesn't. It looks like a video game. Like Modern Warfare looks realistic. It looks like you're actually like snapping at someone. This and that. Yeah, of course with the quick scopes, everyone wants to cry about that. That's not how a sniper works. Okay, first of all, little children. But Cold War just feels so arcadey, where it's just like I think we're so used to that realistic vibe of Modern Warfare, we can't get that flow going again. That's probably our first gripe that we don't even really see or notice. But as soon as you notice that, it's like, oh, okay.
I will say, someone that has not played Modern Warfare that goes to Cold War, they may think, "Oh, this is an amazing game." Modern Warfare spoiled us. You got to be honest, with the graphics, with the movement, with literally everything. I mean, yeah, we trash talked Modern Warfare last time about the bugs, but when it first came out, us playing S&D, search and destroy, all that stuff, it spoiled the crap out of us. The graphics are, like Moulty said, absolutely amazing on it. It looks realistic. Cold War, it's kind of a mixture between, I'd say, Modern Warfare and Black Ops 2 with the graphics. You don't have the realistic look to everything. Now, when I heard Cold War was coming out, I was like, sweet, another game, Call of Duty game that's going to look realistic. When I actually loaded into it, I was very disappointed because of that fact.
So let me
Like have you?
Oh, go ahead, Multi. Sorry.
I don't know if y'all saw it, but there's one guy. He made a video. It's him and with all of his gear on and stuff like that. He's looking at the sky and he's making the movements of Modern Warfare, and it looks like Modern Warfare. He's looking at his rifle. He's going back and forth, this and that. He's looking at it, and literally, it looks like the game. If you were to put them side by side, you wouldn't even hardly be able to tell the difference, except for you can see a little things to where it's an actual person doing the stuff. You ain't gonna be able to do that with Cold War.
Not even a little bit. Definitely an 80s feel to Cold War. I mean, you could tell, obviously, the game just felt super rushed. They had to get something out there, quote unquote, had to, right? Because they're so used to bringing out something every single year. But they could have took their time. Modern Warfare was making them a ton of money, right? Warzone was making them a ton of money. They didn't need to rush it. Now, I get it that we're so used to a Call of Duty game coming out every year, and that's what they think people want. We didn't need it. We didn't. We could have gone 6 more months. I could have got Cold War tomorrow, right? May 1st. And with the game they currently have, I would have been way more happy and not as pissed off as we were from day one when Cold War got released, right? Jack played it, what, 2 days? 3 days?
Something like that.
Maybe 3 days. That's it. Like,
it was
3
one
days?
of those things that was the big rumor when it first came out, that it was pushed a year ahead because I think it was Sledgehammer got whatever they were doing got canceled or something like that, or something happened with Sledgehammer where they weren't going to be able to put out a game. So then they're like, all right, we need something now. Let's go, boys. And then Cold War was half in development. So like, well, I guess we got this. And they just push it out, which I don't know how true that is. And I don't think Sledgehammer makes any good games, to be honest, with that. But that's a little different conversation.
I'm going to have to agree with Moulty there. And with you, Message, if it got released tomorrow, it would be, honestly, so much better. Because, I mean, we played it when it first came out, when it had all these glitches, the movement, all that crap was just crap. It was literally shit. If it got released tomorrow, or even a couple months from now, when they can test out the game actually, I don't think we'd have the same opinion on it because we were also playing it when it had all the bugs. Granted, it still has a couple bugs, but I mean, what game doesn't?
That's definitely true. But again, that goes back to the conversation I brought up last week, right? Developers rush games because they know people will buy it. And then we're dealing with a subpar product. Now, if they just took the time, then we wouldn't get this result. Now, I think that's the biggest thing I'm happy about when Battlefield comes out later this year. We'll probably do a Battlefield podcast next week because a lot of leaks and rumors came out today and yesterday, and then we're going to have more come out next week. There's supposed to be a trailer of some sort coming out next week. So if that is the case, we will definitely have a Battlefield podcast and our thoughts and opinions on what all is going on next week. But based on the conversations I've heard, some of the interviews, some of the leaks, this game has been in development for 4 to 5 years, the new Battlefield, along with been a concept for the last 8 to 10. So they are taking their time and they trying to make sure they hit the mark with this one. So I'm very excited for a lot of the news that came out this week. If you haven't found any news, it's very easy to look up. If you want to wait, like I said, we'll probably talk about it next week. We'll do a little more research, and hopefully the trailer, the preview trailer drops. It's supposed to drop sometime between the 4th and the 7th of May, from my understanding. So if that is the case, we should have some sort of idea of what the game is going to look like. But based on what I've heard, they're saying this is supposed to be the most realistic video game ever made. Like graphics-wise, you're supposed to see destruction again, so we'll see. I mean, that's a big thing to say.
That's a very big thing to say. If you guys saw the podcast last week, you'll recall Moulty saying, people that camping up in a building, in real life, you're gonna take an RPG and blow the building up. You're gonna tear that thing to the ground. Now, them saying, "Hey, it's gonna be a really realistic game." Personally, I hope it can start doing those things. Like, you take an RPG to a building, it's just not going to blow up on the wall and keep the building intact. It's going to leave a freaking hole in the building.
Yeah, I think with all the rumors coming out, with all the interviews I've seen with, EA, it was either EA's CEO or DICE Studio CEO had an interview last week. But we'll do some more research, and we'll be very prepared for the podcast next week to go over Battlefield. And like I said, hopefully the preview trailer drops, because if the preview trailer drops, we have some visual on this thing. I think a lot of opinions are going to come out very quick. The only thing I was upset about that I've heard, and we'll talk about this again next week, when it comes to preview a leak, is I hear the Battle Royale portion of Battlefield is probably not getting released till March of 2022. But if you think about it, it makes sense. You kind of have to wait a little bit. You want people to play the other game modes, 32 versus 32. I hear rumors that they're supposed to be 64 versus 64, a bunch of other new game modes and things of that matter. So if that's the case, cool. I don't mind playing regular Battlefield until the Battle Royale comes out. But I don't know about y'all. Battle Royales are still, in my opinion, the best type of games. So we'll see. We'll see. But back to Cold War. So 3 game modes. Obviously, we got multiplayer. We got zombies and CDL. I think we're all in agreement that zombies is fun, right? It's a good way to level up your guns. But the biggest gripe I have about zombies, and this is just my opinion, of course, I think it's only playable for so long. I think that if you're going to play zombies, you have to go in there with an intention, right? You either need it to be a brand new map that they've added, or you really want to be leveling up a particular weapon because you're going to play it all day. But it's not something for me, unless you're trying to go for the record and get through so many different levels and whatnot. I just can't play that thing more than like a day. But that's my opinion on zombies. But, I mean, I have a good time with it. It's fun for a small period of time. What are y'all's thoughts on zombies?
Moulty, you want to go?
It bores me. I can't. I can't. So I got. I can't
You
do it. I can get through 5, 10, 15 rounds, and then it turns in. You get to the spot where you got like I didn't play this newest one, but it like all the old ones. You get to as far as you can go, and then it's the same thing. It just continues to go on and go on and go on. Like whoever back when it first came out and they were all going for that record, props to them to be able to do that same stuff over and over again. I'd lose my mind. I'd make it a whole 10 seconds and then lose interest. Be like, all right, this is getting out of hand. This is dumb, bro. Like I don't know. You get that satisfaction of playing, even like just playing regular multiplayer or something. You just get that satisfaction of knowing that you actually killed someone versus an NPC that's doing the same thing where you're just chasing after you. And I just it's not for me.
All right,
Not for
Cowboy.
me at all.
Honestly, I mean, Message, how long were you and I playing the other day?
It wasn't very long.
I mean, you'd probably say an hour
At the most.
for 3 rounds. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've always loved zombies. But one thing I don't like about the zombies on Cold War are, I'm gonna say, the bosses. You don't have those in any of the other zombies. I honestly, that's something I just don't really prefer. But like Moulty said, for those people that try to go for records, good for them, because it gets boring. Literally running around and just trying to chase them down.
Yeah, the thing with the record breaking, though, for me, right? How do you break a record? You have to glitch it, right? There's always a glitch spot. I don't know. Zombies isn't for me, right? It's fun. It's cool on the release day. I'll play it. I get it. But heck, I remember all of our all of our Snapchat groups, like, oh, zombies. How long did that last? Maybe a couple weeks? If that, couple weeks, then it's like, you want to play S&D? My point. So, that's zombies. I'm going to give zombies like a 6 out of 10. And when I say 6 out of 10, let's look at it also in a period of a month. It gets a 6 out of 10 for like a quarter of the month. So it really is like a 2 for me. But I was trying to be nice. So I'm going to give zombies a 6 out of 10. Or a 2 if you want to look at it from that point. Maps. Let's talk about maps. Is there any map particularly that you like more or less on Cold War than other maps? I was excited when Raid came back. Raid's one of my favorite maps. So I'm always down to play on Raid. Nuketown, obviously. Nuketown's always fun. It's a little small, but it's like Shipment. You know what I mean? You kind of just... You go there to level up weapons. So, I love Nuketown. Garrison is... It's just all right for me. I know a lot of people don't like it, especially like in CDL, like when you watch the league and stuff like that. It's very one-sided on that game, on that map. And then, Moscow's cool. I like Moscow. But, other than that, really, it doesn't really get me too excited. Raid was really the only thing that got me excited map-wise about a Cold War. What about y'all?
In my opinion, I mainly played multiplayer. I just pretty much played CDL with you. That was cool. That was cool to 4v4, but I didn't play much of it. I just saw that one map. I think we did maybe 1 or 2. But in the regular multiplayer, they just feel too big. They need to have... I don't even remember. I think it's 6-on-6, or maybe I think one was like 18 to 24. That one felt better. It felt more right for the size of the maps. It needed to be a 12-on-12 or something like that because it was too big. You look at the Modern Warfare maps; there's a couple big ones, but all of them don't feel huge. You look at that and it's like you can go a good while without even finding anybody. Even playing team deathmatch or something, you can't find anybody because the map's so big. The spawn rotation is absolutely ridiculous. And that's my biggest gripe is that they're good maps. They're just so big that you can't do much off it.
Yeah,
you got to go to a nuke down or something like that to be in that smaller map to actually get some kills to level up your stuff to actually use it. and then go to the big maps, because then you have that stuff leveled up versus opposite.
True. Cowboy, any map that you were particularly happy to see on Cold War versus any other maps?
Honestly, I'm gonna have to agree with you. Message raid. One map that honestly I personally like, and I don't know about you guys, the Miami map.
Miami, there's a bunch of mixed feelings with Miami. A lot of people
Yeah.
don't like it. A lot of the pros didn't like it, but I like the aesthetic of it. You know what I mean? Like the way it looks, it's very pleasing to the eye. Very pleasing to the eye. You could tell they spent a lot of time putting that map together. I know a lot of people aren't happy to play it. You know what map I don't like? I can't remember what it's called. The one with the boat when you're on the ship. Armada. I hate that. Armada. I hate that map. The 3 boat. I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
Not a fan at all. The rotations on that map are so stupid.
It's dumb.
Yeah. Back to Moulty's, the maps are too big. I hate, with a passion, Armada. Give me Apocalypse. Give me Raid. Give me I'll take Garrison. I'll take Moscow. What was the map you said again, Cowboy?
Miami.
Give me Miami. I'll take those 5 maps. Don't give me anything else. Just those 5, which is why you mainly see those 5 anyways in the CDL, in the actual Call of Duty League. Even the new Miami map that they just added, where it's a different portion of it during the daytime, is better. But some of those maps are a little too big, and it's just frustrating.
Even the Miami map that's been there since the get-go, it's still, like Moulty said, too big. We were playing CDL, we were playing S&D. I felt like literally you could sit back with a sniper if you wanted to. You could pick off everybody and they would not even see a dang thing. Because, if they shrunk that map down just a little bit more, where you can't go over 30, 40 foot into the water on, I want to say, the right side when you're planting, it'd be a little bit better. Just the map's too big for a 5-on-5 in CDL.
It's 4v4 in Cold War. They changed it. It was 5v5 in Modern Warfare. Yeah, I agree. The maps are a little too big. It's all good. Don't worry about it. No, yeah, the map's definitely a little too big. Anyway, so multiplayer, dude, I'm gonna have to give it I'm gonna give it a 5. I don't even play it.
That's what I would say.
If I'm gonna play multiplayer, I'd rather just play CDL. The only bad thing about playing CDL is you can only play with 4 of your friends. That's the only bad thing.
Yeah.
You know,
I'd give multiplayer a 3, and CDL probably a 6.
all right, well, we'll talk about CDL right now. So this year, the Call of Duty League decided to go to a 4v4. All of the teams had to restructure their teams because they had 5 players and a sub, and now they had to move to 4 players and a sub. I will say this, in my opinion, not just playing CDL, but watching the actual league, I think a competitive league is way more entertaining to watch when it's 4v4. I think it takes a lot more skill, because if you team wipe somebody, right, that rotation, depending on what you're playing, whether it's hard point, control, or CDL, you have less people now you have to kill. S&D, I think it takes a lot more skill to play a 4v4, especially when you're playing ranked or you're playing, like I said, in the actual league. So I like watching the CDL more than I like playing it. But that's just because I like watching the CDL in the Call of Duty League, and I like watching Optic and FaZe and those teams. But yeah, we played a lot of CDL this week. So I will go over a couple things that I like and dislike real quick before I move to the other guys. I liked the 4v4 aspect. I liked the maps that we usually got. I can't remember the other map that I like too. It's the one in the hangar. But that map I like.
Oh, I know what you're talking
what I'm talking about? I can't remember which one it is, but I like the hangar.
I can't remember.
It's very satisfying to play search 4v4 just because how much harder it is. Control, as much as we suck at control, because I've played with Chico, I played with Visions this week, Miss Visions. I played with a lot of other friends. We played some control, and control was the one we struggled with a lot in the very beginning. Towards the end, we got a lot better, and I will say when it comes to a competitive game mode, I think Control is way better than Domination because of how hard it is, because it's like a mixture of multiplayer / you only have X amount of lives / gain control or whatever. But I like Control. I'm a fan of Control. I like watching it way better than I like playing it. Because it's very interesting to watch the actual teams and these actual pros play these new game modes. And you can just see how much time they spend playing these games to learn the maps. Like, literally, I was having a pull up on my second screen when we were playing, like, hard point. Like, oh, shit, oh, where's point 1, point 2? Oh, go rotate now. Like, we don't know them, right? But we play Modern Warfare. We know exactly where those points are. And then, if we play with, say, Miss Vision, she knows where they are, so we play with her and let her call it out, so we don't have to worry about it because, whatever. But anyways, it's a lot of like I said, I have fun playing Hardpoint. I have fun playing CDL specifically on Cold War. I am not a big fan of zombies. I'm not a big fan of the regular multiplayer. If I'm going to play Cold War, I'm playing CDL, and I am not playing anything else. Final thoughts on CDL, boys, before we give our rankings, and then we'll go over just our final thoughts on Cold War.
Multi.
Yeah, think about this one. It was fun. It's fun because I played with y'all. I wish I played it with randoms just to get that little point of view. So it's a little biased because, of course, I'm playing with my buddies. Of course, I'm gonna have fun. It just still felt too big for me. I think that one we did was Control. I didn't even know what was going on. Somebody were like, "Hey, we have 5 lives left." I looked like, "Oh, I don't know what that means." Oh, we're dying. That's not a thing. But it was. I'll say that about CDL and Cold War. It's fun when you play with your buddies. It's not. I wish I played more with randoms with CDL, just so I can get that little bit of insight on that too. But it was all right.
Cowboy.
Honestly, like, my opinion, like, let's think about this real fast. CDL is fun. It's very competitive. Y'all know that. On the competitive standpoint, I honestly think Control is more competitive than S&D. And that's saying something. Because, I mean, what's always been the most competitive game in Call of Duty? S&D, most likely. Or mostly. And then they came out with Control. Honestly, it's a hell of a lot more competitive because you have to get it or you have to stop them from getting the point. You have minimum lives. S&D, you die, and I'll get them next round. We're playing next round. We just camp on A or B. 3 go A, 3 go B. You have to be a lot more tactical to not lose the Control. S&D, it's like, okay, well, we're defending this round, so 2 go A, 2 go B. Perfect as that. We're good. I like the CDL aspect of it.
All right, and then my final opinion on it, and we'll talk about guns here for a real quick minute afterwards, and then we'll switch to the next topic. But overall, I'll play CDL. That's it. I'm not going to play anything else. If you want to play Cold War with me, you hit me up. You say, hey, let's go play some Cold War. What are we playing? A zombie? No. What are we playing? Multiplayer? No. CDL or I ain't playing. I don't give a crap about this game. I don't. At this point, I don't need to play with 6 of my friends or 5 of my friends. Just give me 3 of them for this game, and let me play CDL. And because there's an actual ranking on this one compared to multiplayer or the CDL on Modern Warfare, it's more satisfying to get a win. You get points going up and down as you win or you lose. You lose points. There was none of that in Modern Warfare. That was a big loss. They could have done way better with. If they added a point system and a proper ranking system in the old Modern Warfare, nobody would even be playing this one because you'd still be working on your ranking in Modern Warfare. but there's not a ranking, right? So if you want something competitive with the ranking, you go play this game because there's a ranking. The only thing I don't like is it looks like it's really hard to get out of your bracket. So the brackets that they have set up, I don't think you can go from one bracket to another bracket. I think you pretty much stay in that bracket and you're like the top tier of that bracket. So I'm not a fan of that, but at least there's a ranking. You know what I mean? Like games that had rankings, in my opinion, they do best. You got to have a competitive mode at some point if you're going to have any type of game like this, just because people want that competitive mode game. They want to know how they do as a player. So you got to get some feedback. That's the best way, in my opinion, to get feedback. KD doesn't mean crap in this game because you get a kill if you like tap them and somebody else kills them. So like, there's no point for your KD. It means absolutely nothing, right? So it is what it is. But I'll play CDL. We had some issues. Dude, Chico disconnected like every day. We played it multiple times. So, and then the very last game I played, it was the worst server in the world, and we were lagging so bad to the point where it's showing like the internet connection on the screen, and we were losing. I kid you not, 5-1, and then we came back and won because everyone's on the same server, so we're all doing trash, and we found a way to win. But we wouldn't have won on a regular server. They should have smoked us. All right. One last segment for Cold War, and we'll move on. Favorite guns in Cold War to use, whether it's in Cold War or in Warzone. Cowboy, go first.
Honestly, I've kind of been digging the Bullfrog for my secondary. When I do run a secondary in Warzone or an SMG, I will honestly either pick the Bullfrog. A lot of people will be like, "Oh, Mac 10 is where it's at." Bullfrog, the strafe speed, amazing. You have what? You probably have double the amount of bullets. I mean, I'm still kind of new to mouse and keyboard, so I still don't really have the aim down yet, where I just can't point and click. It still takes me a little bit to be like, okay, well, there he's at. So I'm gonna need those extra bullets. I'm gonna be honest with you. But Bullfrog, FFAR, I liked it. Recoil is still, even on a mouse, it's kind of hard for me to control. I only have 6 inches to control it, and I run a low DPI. Craig, I really don't want to be one of those guys. Oh, no recoil, Craig, do this out. I try to stay away from the meta as much as I can. That way, when I win, and if I win a gunfight against someone else, it's even more pleasing in Warzone because I'm not using a meta or a big meta, I guess.
All right, and then Moulty, what are the guns that you like from Cold War over to Warzone?
If you played with me, you know that I love the Stoner. The Stoner is my go-to. I don't know what it is. I've heard a lot of negative things about it, but I absolutely shred with the Stoner. Even when my account got hacked and I had a blueprint still on my new account that was a temp account. I had a blueprint, and then we were playing and I shredded the whole team. And then I think it was Jag that we were playing with that day.
I was dead.
Like, I can't hit anything. You were dead
on the mountain.
We were pushing that team that just killed you, and I just shredded. I decimated them. I completely just shit on their whole family. It was bad. But Jack was also trying to use the Stoner because he wanted. I don't remember if he was trying to make a video or something like that, but he wanted to use a Stoner, and he could not get a feel for it. But for whatever reason, I could. And at the same time, for my secondary, I would always use the AK-74. No one ever liked that. No one ever. It was a very. The reviews about it were very low compared to, the Mag 10, the Bullfrog, that kind of stuff. I had always liked it. I had always been able to do pretty well with my. I don't know what it is about me, but I do good with the guns that aren't the meta. That's my meta, is whatever is not the meta. I would do good with that. So I'm leveling up the Krieg. I like the Krieg. I don't like the FFIR so much. I don't like an assault rifle that I don't know. If I just don't have all the right attachments on it or whatever. But I'm not a fan of. I wasn't a fan of the FFAR either. So those two the ARs that shoot that have a faster fire rate, I'm not a fan of. The LC10, I do like the LC10. I liked that when it first came out too, when everybody was bagging on that. So it's kind of like whatever that people are bagging on the most, somehow I do good with it. I don't understand it. But I don't use snipers like what Chico said last week. I definitely don't use snipers. I'm terrible with snipers. I am the worst sniper. I will do fine on Search and Destroy with my Car 98 or whatever. I'll do all right with that. Do not give me a sniper in Warzone because I will miss every single shot. Don't listen to Chico. I will never run a sniper in my entire life on Warzone ever again.
All right, and then the guns that might go to right now. So if we're playing CDL, the Farah, it slaps. It's disgusting. So I'll use the Farah, and then I'll use the LC10. Those are my go-tos on the CDL. And if we're playing Warzone, unfortunately, like you got to do what you got to do, and I will run the Krig because it's broken as hell. Because I don't want to lose and I don't want to die, so I'm going to use the Krig, and then I like the AK-47U. I like the LC-10. Depending on the day, if I have to, I'll be an a-hole and I'll use the Gallo shotgun because if I'm going to get killed by one, I don't really care. I'll just use it. I'm somebody where if I lose to that thing multiple times, I'm just, you know what? I'd rather just play with it then if you're going to be like that. And then I like to use the XM4 if I build it. I don't know why. I like the XM4. I like the MP5. I don't like the MP5 as much as the Modern Warfare one. I don't know. The XM4, I think just because it's an M4, it holds a special place in my heart, and I just wanted to really, really use it. And it got a little bit of a buff this past patch notes because all the Cold War guns now they're controlling the game. You know, they got to do what they got to do. And we knew it was going to happen at some point, and it's finally happening. So, you know, it is what it is. But the Krig 6, M16, when I was using that, I like the M16. I didn't use, what's the other burst everyone was using?
AUG.
I wasn't using the AUG, but I picked up somebody's AUG one day and realized why everybody was using it. And then unpopular opinion, I liked the DMR meta because I have mouse and keyboard, and it's easy to click on heads. And I was just shitting on everybody that was a controller player. So, you know, I liked it, but it's not for everybody. All right. So guns aren't terrible. You could tell, though, in my opinion, maybe it's just me. You could tell it doesn't work in Warzone. It just doesn't look the same. The feel's not the same. All right. Final topic of the podcast. Without Remorse came out this morning. Well, it's Friday for us, but the podcast gets released on Monday. It is Michael B. Jordan, starring as John Kelly. Sorry. John Kelly. It is a Tom Clancy book that was it came out in 1993, and it got released as a movie on Amazon Prime this morning. I was talking to Moulty about this a little bit before we started the podcast, and the Tom Clancy books versus anything that's been coming out Tom Clancy-wise, whether it's a movie or whatever, it's definitely modernized because the book is based on Vietnam, that time era, and this is clearly not that, not even close. But I know we're running short on time, so let's just do a quick overview of the movie. I liked it a lot. I'm going to go ahead and rate this thing a 7 out of 10. The fact that it came out on Amazon Prime, I think, makes it even better. It was basically free. Everyone has Amazon Prime. Let's be realistic here. You didn't have to go to a movie theater to watch it. Michael B. Jordan's a badass, right? And for those of you that are fans of Jack Ryan, spoiler alert now, they did a very good job referencing characters in the Jack Ryan series that Amazon Prime also has in this movie. And then they did, and here's another spoiler alert. I'm just telling you now, spoiler alert. At the end of the credits, or not right off the end of the credits, they did a, like an ending scene like you'd see in any Marvel movie or whatever. And they are leading up to either another movie or series or some sort of crossover for Rainbow Six, which I thought I didn't see that coming. I should have, because Jack Ryan is super successful. If you haven't watched Jack Ryan's 2 seasons out, every time I've watched it, I've watched the whole series when it comes out because it is that good. But they did a good job teasing something for the future. I could see some crossovers happening. But Michael B. Jordan's he's just a straight up badass in this movie. The way he kills people in this movie was satisfying, to say the least. The opening, the big kill you see towards like the beginning of the movie, not like right in the beginning, but after all the crap happens, they kind of show a preview of this already. When he, again, spoilers, when he lit that car on fire and got in there with that Russian, holds a gun up to his, oh my, I was just like, damn, this guy don't give up. Oh, dude. I mean, granted, you wouldn't either if you were in his situation, but I never seen nothing like that before. Like that, the closest thing that reminded me of how he was killing people, or at least that one, was Man on Fire, when Denzel Washington was killing people. That's kind of like, it kind of reference in my mind, like when you're trying to compare how people were killing people, like in movies, that's the only thing that came to my mind was if you know the scene on Man on Fire when he sticks the bomb up the guy's butt, and threatens him before he blows him up.
That's nice.
Yeah. But anyways, that was I think I liked it. I liked it all. I thought it was great. If you haven't seen it, again, I said spoilers ahead of time, so don't blame me on this one. But I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. There was some things they disliked, but I already talked to Moulty about this and Cowboy, and I'm sure both of them are going to mention what they didn't like about it, which is probably why their ratings won't be as high as mine. But who wants to start?
Moulty, go ahead.
Like you said, we talked about it already, and after you said it, it made me think of it more. If they made it a TV show like Jack Ryan, it would be an 8 or a 9 right now. Hands down, it would have been so good because they had so much going on, but to pack it in an hour and 45 minutes, to me it felt extremely rushed because it was like, oh, this is happening. Oh, well, there we go. There's the solution to the problem. We're on to the next problem already. Like, when did that happen? Excuse me. Needless to say, I also did watch it at 3 a.m. while at work, so I might have been a little delirious when I watched it, but that's besides the point. But to me, it felt like a fast John Wick, where he had this happen. It was different. It was a completely different story. It's not like John Wick at all, but the way that it progresses is kind of like John Wick to me. It goes and this stuff happens. Well, now he's on a vendetta to go kill this guy. Well, now he's going and he does this and that. He keeps on going. He gets shot so many damn times. I don't know how he's still alive. But it keeps on going. I did enjoy it, but I wish it was a TV series. If it was like Jack Ryan, it came out in a 10, 12 episode season, even a 6 episode season, it would have been where they got into all the detail about everything. I would have absolutely loved it. It just felt too quick, and honestly, it felt a little too John Wick.
All right, Cowboy, what did you think? I know you rushed it as well, but what did you think?
Yeah, I had to rush it. Honestly, I mean, it was a good movie, but like both you guys said, TV series would have been so much better, in my opinion, because one, the transition to the scenes, absolute garbage. If they would have saved the transition and just ended the episode there, honestly, my rating would have been a little bit higher. And speaking about scenes, scene 3 wasn't all that it for me. Kind of trash, in my opinion. The third scene.
Remind people. Oh, spoilers. Which one was the third scene? Just so I remember.
You're trying to kill me right now. That was small. Moulty, you remember? I've done a lot. I had to do a lot today.
Scene?
You talking about
There's a lot
when
of
you
scenes in
talking
the
about
movie.
you talking about when like people were dying, like when they were killing everybody,
Yeah.
like the
Oh,
way
that
they
was
the
when they
way
were in,
like the way they killed
Russia.
the way they killed people, like so like when the
When
guy
they were
got
in
run
Russia.
over and then the other guy got shot in the street. You talking about that, or what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Are they killing the team, or are you talking about when they're the third part of it is when they're in Russia?
They're killing people.
Oh, when they're killing the team, yeah. The first one
Yeah.
didn't make a lot of sense for me. There was no build up to that. It just kind of happened.
Exactly.
It does kind of come out of nowhere. It goes straight from here we are in we're doing this thing, and then it's going really bad, and we're like, hey, why is this a Russian operation? To 3 months later, he's getting ready to have his kid. He get a little bit of a backstory. He's like, oh, I could probably leave, or I just retired. Now I could probably go do this, and then bam, one guy gets run over who you could barely remember who he was because it's dark when they do the first scenes, and it's so fast. And even that, right? Like, I didn't expect him to get run over. Like, taking
Yeah,
out
I
the,
wasn't
I
expecting that
thought
at
like
all.
it was gonna be a drive-by or something like that. Like the other one where the guy was behind the van and they shot the guy. Yeah, it definitely was rushed. But I will say this, like, so if you make the movie an extra 30 minutes, I think you can kind of clean some of it up, right? I think that would have helped. The reason why I don't think you can make this a TV series as much as it would have been way better. It would have been way better to do a bunch of backstory. It would have been way better. It's Michael B. Jordan. This is a big-time actor, movie star in Hollywood, right? You cannot afford to have him in 10 episodes for an hour long. You can't. So I get why it was a movie. What'll be interesting is I'm hoping Amazon will get the feedback for this, knowing that and hopefully they haven't started production for Rainbow Six yet, and figure out what to do. Because give me a 3-hour movie. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't.
By far.
Yeah, give me a 3-hour movie. I'll watch it. We all watched the 4-hour Justice League Snyder cut. Give me something that's good. I don't care how long it is. I'll spend the time
We'll
and
watch
watch it. It doesn't need to be a 2-hour movie or an hour and a half. You don't need to we got to make sure it's this. No, give me something good, quality, and let it make sense. And I swear to God, you better not screw up Rainbow Six. You better.
I will say,
I
was
swear to
not
God, they screw up
happy
Rainbow.
with-
Sorry, go ahead, Moulty. I was about to do a rant.
I was not. I felt like Michael B. Jordan was a little subpar. I will say that he's a great actor, but it just didn't feel right. I don't know.
I mean, he's
I don't know if that's
he's
just
done,
me or
he's done
whatever.
better in other movies, like Creed.
It was not his best acting.
No, it wasn't. Again, but movie felt rushed, so it could have been better. That's why I only gave it a 7. What do you think, Cowboy? What's your rating if you had to give it a 1 out of 10?
Which, hold on, I want to go back. Where the movie was rushed, it was supposed to be last year when they produced it, when they put it out.
No, I thought they bought the rights last year.
No, and then COVID happened.
Oh, okay.
So then it pushed it back. They're thinking about the same thing for the sequel to it. Honestly, my rating probably going to be a 6.79 out of 10.
Okay. Moulty, what's your rating?
Just because of how rushed I felt, I'm gonna have to go a 5. If it came with more of a backstory and it came more of, this is going on, this is what's happening, this is how we're gonna deal with it. There's a solution versus this is going on, it's solved. This is going on now, solved. This is going on. Okay, what? I missed the first 2 parts. What are you talking about? If it had more of that, where you actually got to know what was going on, that could easily be an 8 or a 9. But I gotta go.
All right.
I'm not gonna go all specific with a 0.72 nonsense.
All right.
7.
Again, I thought it was a 7 out of 10. I watch it again. But I gotta see something big. I gotta see something big on this sequel. I swear to God, if you screw up Rainbow Six, I'm gonna be pissed. Pissed. Because, you know,
I'm intrigued. That intrigued me.
yeah, I do. Moulty, I know you hadn't watched the ending yet, so you're going to have to go back and watch it, Cowboy. But Moulty, he jumped in the call earlier. He hadn't watched it yet either. And I had to tell him to go pull it back up so he could watch it. So
I'm intrigued. I don't know the story, like Rainbow Six and all that stuff. I know I'd played like, Las Vegas, those both were great games. But I don't know the whole story behind it, read any of the books, nothing like that. So it intrigued me to see what they're gonna do with that. And I hope they make it a TV series, not a damn movie, because they screwed up that movie.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I just hope for some crossover. I want to see some crossover with Jack Ryan. I think it'd be great. All right. That is it for the podcast. Cowboys social will be in the description. Moulty, I'll make sure I put your Go Red Sox thing in the description again. But
I'm still at Moulty.
Again, Moulty, Cowboy, thank you for being on the episode. I greatly appreciate it. We'll see who's going to be on the episode next week. Again, make sure you check in for next week. I'm pretty sure the topic will be about all of the leaks and the news on Battlefield 6, because we all are looking.
Better have me in that.
Yeah, I'll make sure you're in it, Moulty, okay?
Oof, I'm excited.
There was a lot of good information coming out. Hopefully, like I said, we get the reveal trailer. If we get the reveal trailer, I think it's going to be huge. But what we will see. I think that's what we're going to do next week. And then I've got another podcast planned with my buddy A Hammer. We've been playing console most of our lives. We bought a PC about 6 months ago, 6 months ago. We're going to do a PC review just on what the difference is going from console to PC, and whether or not we think you should spend your money on a next gen console or you should spend your money on a PC. Moulty and Cowboy. Anyways, that is all we got time for today. Thank you so much for being here. I greatly appreciate it. Again, follow me on TikTok for some more reviews, and then stick around for next week's podcast. Like I said, it'll probably be about Battlefield, but we will see. So again, peace. Wow, I just screwed up so many things right there.
Dude, I've been fucking live.
We are still live. We are still live. Now I got to edit that out. Goodbye, everybody.